TV, that is on YouTube. We're live across the social media platform, that is on Facebook and as well as on YouTube. And you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line, that is 23059. So let's kickstart this particular program. Good morning, Mr. Felix Mungai.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and many thanks for making time to be with us here this morning.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, so even as we kickstart this particular program and build the basis of this particular conversation, tell us about you and of course what you do.
So thank you so much for hosting me. Thank you for EBN family. I'm so happy to be here this morning for this show. My name is Felix Mungai Jenga. I'm the founder of Streetways Global Network. It's an NGO. Currently they are known as PBOs. And by the grace of God, we have been working with the teenagers since 2022. Going across schools, doing mentorship and training, career training to these young people. And by the grace of God, you have seen a great and tremendous change in different lives of these young people.
All right. Now, from your journey, from where you sit, what are some of the challenges, of course, that are facing most of the teenagers, especially during these times?
Let me just describe these challenges. We have the primary issues, we have the secondary, and we have the tertiary issues. So just, I think before we reach to the secondary issues and the tertiary issues, the basic issue is a primary issue. That is identity crisis that we have among us teenagers. Let me just give you a small preview. There was a certain research I was doing. And this research is interesting. You want to hear it this morning. And I know so our listeners are ready to listen. Let me use the old system of education where we had Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. And look at when you would ask a Form 1, what do you want to be in future? They would give you something, let's say a doctor. Ask the same, when in Form 1 they would say a doctor, in Form 2 they would change and they would give you something else. Let's say a pilot. In Form 3, they give you another thing they want to pursue in future. And in Form 4, they tell you, ngojea grades zitoke, tutajua kwenye tunaenda. Let's say this child gets a good grade, let's say a B plus, and they are given this choice to go and to choose careers, right? And when you ask them, so because of this kind of confusion they have been having for those years, they come to a place where they don't know where to go. So they are told, go and ask your pastor at home, go ask your parents, go ask that rich person in the village, go ask your guardian. And actually the guardian or people will advise you according to what they see, not from where that teenager sees the point of view. And this is one of the crucial things that research has done. Immediately that teenager chooses a certain course. When they get to campus, let's say around second year, that year, they realize that this was not their career path. This is not what they wanted to choose. Do you know that statistics, by statistics, if right now you go to our campuses and you ask the students there if they would wish to change their course, 60% would say yes, they want to change. Do you know why? Because they made a choice that was based on other people's opinion, but not from their hearts. So you see, the best thing that we can do is to go back to the teenagers and realign this mess before it goes up there.
Now, speaking about people making choices that they didn't make themselves, you spoke about the 844 system.
Yes.
And of course, back in the day, you used to see teenagers they were being mentored. After they finished class 8, maybe they go for circumcisions. Before the transition, that's where mentorship used to actually happen. But from where you sit, why do you believe teenage mentorship is actually crucial even at a time you are still in school?
So I think the reason why teenage mentorship is really crucial and is very crucial. Let me first of all explain this, that where the name teenager comes from. It comes from the name, this is an age group of young people from 13 to 19, so the teen. So it's come the teenagehood there. So the reason why these when you read the brain development of teenagers, most of these young people, their brains are not yet fully developed. Actually, scientists say that the full development of a brain comes at age 21. So, or age 20, 21, somewhere there. That's the range of the full brain development. So this, you find that teenagers are faced with the issues of making decisions. You know, this is a place where they want to act mature, and they are not yet mature. So let me give you this analogy.
Yeah.
When a child is 5 years, they have this good vibe with their parents. And when this child is at 12 years or 13 years, there is a certain change that just sudden happens. And you'll hear the parents say, sielewi huyu mtoto wangu. And also that you'll hear the teenager saying, hata mi sielewi mom, I'm a dad, I don't understand them. So why is this issue there? Is because the reason why I'm saying that teenage mentorship is very important. You see, when we see such kind of crisis happening, where the child does not understand the parent, neither does the parent understand the child. So this is a certain phase where this child is having certain kind of brain development. And they want to act mature, though they are not yet mature. So mentorship is really needed at this stage, so that this child can be guided, because they want to act mature, though they don't know the path. So it is upon now the adults to sit at a place where they can convince these young people on the path to follow to their full development to maturity. Yeah.
All right, you spoke about the NGO that is a Street Global Network.
Yes.
Do tell us about, what made you, to come up with this particular organization? Was it from, a personal experience where you saw there is a gap in, teenage mentorship? How did it come about?
Thank you so much for that question. It came from, first of all, a personal conviction. When I was just as a teenager, back in high school, I had this interest of just listening to these people who are training us as teenagers. And one day, there were people who are talking, and I felt, there is still yet a gap here. There is something there we want to hear, but they are not sharing to us. So I felt that, these young people that are coming up, they are very sharp. Yeah. You might think they don't know what you want to mean, but it is good to say a spoon as a spoon, not as a spade, calling a spade, not a big spoon, right? So that is what the teenagers want, and I felt the gap there, and that I think I started in 2020, going back there, trying to talk to young teenagers, and I found it interesting and fulfilling in my heart. Yes.
All right. Now speaking about, the teenagers, there is this, peer pressure, which can be overwhelming for teenagers, and of course there is, the identity crisis.
Yes.
So how do you help them navigate that peer pressure?
First of all, when we come to the issues of peer pressure, it is very real among young people, and more so teenagers. Yeah. And we have 6 levels of peer pressure. That is, we have the positive and the negative. We have the spoken and unspoken peer pressure. We have the direct and indirect peer pressure. And in all these 6 levels of peer pressure, one of the things that, let me just give you the root cause why peer pressure is so common to the teenagers. When a child is around 12, 13 years, 14 years, they find it interesting to stick with their friends more than their parents. You get? So every time they find their friends being so interesting more than their parents, so they want to fit in a certain group, and it is natural. This thing just happens. Is a phase of their transition, and that's why you find peer pressure coming up. So the best advice we can give to our teenagers, because it will just come automatically that they want to click to a certain kind of friendship, a certain kind of group, the best advice we can give them is from the scripture that says that bad company ruins good morals. So if you walk with the wise, and you'll be wise. Walk with the fools, and you'll be a fool.
All right. Now, speaking about, you mentioned parents, and of course, those are, different generations.
Yes.
Now, from where you see it, about teenage mentorship.
Yes.
How does the challenges facing the teenagers and the current generations of their parents, how the challenges are?
The challenges are very simple.
Yeah.
Let me share this. If today I drew here number 6, right? From my view, I see number 6, but from your view, you see number 9,
yeah.
right? So the best way to handle these challenges, because the parents are, you hear parents saying, hii kizazi hatuielewi, hii kizazi ya majenzi hatuwaelewi, you get.
Yeah.
But it's just if you just stand, if the parents can stand on this side and see the number 6, it's just something. It's just on the side on which you are standing. When you're putting an opinion, your opinion is right. But if you address your opinion from my standpoint, you will find that these guys are accepting they are accepting your opinions and your suggestions. You see, most of the parents, when they are suggesting some things to their children, they suggest things from their side and they start referring from their days. Unajua siku zetu.
Exactly.
Unajua siku zetu. Siku zetu tulikuwa tunatii. Siku zetu hatuko tunauliza maswali. But these ones are asking questions. These ones are, they have a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity. So when you just, as a parent, the best way is just to stand on that side. If they see number 6 and you see number 9, just stand on their side and help them to see from also your side that you can see the number 9. And also just describe your side. Just try and stand on each part. And by the way, even for the teenagers, sometimes when you see your parent hakuelewi, just try also to stand on their side and see what they see.
Yeah, their point of view.
Yeah.
All right, and of course, many a times you meet those, that generation.
Yes.
They tell you, during our times you called it, punish another person's child, of course, whatnot. And of course, times are changing actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Now from your organization,
Yes.
Tell us about how does your organization work. How do you mentor people? How do they approach you? Yeah.
Okay, so in our organization, actually, we received our certificate this year.
Yeah.
We got registered this year, and because it was part of us, and we started by going to the schools, going to the churches, and doing this kind of mentorship around the schools there. And something interesting that I found out is that there is a very big gap outside there. There is a very big gap to the teenagers, and they need help. Parents need help. Sometimes, there are referrals where parents will say, oh, I know a person who can talk to your child, who can have time with your child. And as an organization, we are also looking forward to, as in part of our work and part of our plans for 2026, is to see how we can even come up with, let's say, like a FUBU, for us by us, program where we can have these older people who are above 20, who can work, who are disciplined and can work with these younger teenagers through their trust. We are just putting it as it's something that is on process. We are just writing it down just to see how we can have even older people who can understand these younger people, and they can work together, and they can give them guidance and how they were able to navigate some of the challenges that the teenagers are facing. Yes.
All right. And speaking of different generations, there has been a rise in technology and of course social media, and from where you sit, this has actually affected teenagers, mental health and the social interactions. Now, from where you sit, do you think what role do you think that mentors can play in navigating these issues?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. And social media is here for us to grow with it. Yeah. And this generation is growing in a place where things are going very fast, fast. And I think also social media has played a very big part in the issues of mental health. And the issues where you feel like we are seeing people on TikTok, young people as young as 20, 23, frozen with cars, money. And this is creating a lot of tension to other young people who are saying, "Ay, kama ule amefika, mimi nitaifika hapo lini?
Amebuy gari na 24."
Amebuy gari na 24.
Yeah.
There is those kind of pressures that these young people are feeling. And I think one of the the best thing that social media has both the positive and both the negative side of issues. But I think you can make a choice, either to take the positive, use the AI, the chat GPTs and everything that is coming up with these social media handles to use to build the right channels of things. By the way, I have seen many young people, mostly teenagers, going on TikTok to do this dancing challenges. But yesterday I was talking to some young people and I happened to ask them, do you see yourself in the next 10 years just being a dancer? Because I see you posting on TikTok, dancing on the street, dancing where, and I'm not against the dancing, but I think one of the things, you know, you can be carried off when these people are dancing, you want also to dance, you want also to fit into the crew. But before, sometimes when you are going there on social media, as young as those teenagers are, I think the best way they can do is to build their profile, to understand themselves. If today, if that child, if they envision themselves in the next 10 years to be engineers, let them use that time to go down and follow, let's say if it is someone wants to pursue the issues of aeroplanes and pilots and stuff, this is their greatest chance to go down, follow, let's say, like companies like Boeing, Framing Millets, and just try to look down on what they are doing, the things they are envisioning, and they will get challenged on what to do in the future.
All right.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, they say social media is actually a double-edged sword. You can actually, get impact from it. Of course, it can also, send you to, where. All right. Now, speaking about teenage mentorship, of course, you and the organizations, how do you establish the trust that is crucial in mentorship, and what strategies do you use to build, the rapport between you and the teenager? Of course, sometimes teenagers can, open up things that they, don't want others to know about. How do you build that rapport, and how do you make sure that this teenager can actually trust you?
One of the things that I will say is that, the reason why people are dying in mental health is lack of people to trust with their issues. And number two, we as an organization, one of our pillars is that we have to be trusted by these young people. They have to trust us. We have to build the best mechanism for these young people to trust us. Number one, for them to open up, and number two, to trust us. So as an organization, we have come up, sometimes when you go to, let's say, big crowds of young people, and we have these interactive forums with them, they can write questions that without writing their names or pointing out something, and sometimes one-on-one interaction, and we walk along a journey with these young people. Sometimes, let's say, if there will be need for us to call the parent, we will call. But if there is no need, if there is need to call the parent or to engage the parent, we have to go back and agree with the child and tell that teenager the reasons as to why this issue needs to come to the knowledge of your parents. Because sometimes we don't want to put the teenager away from, it's like we are pulling out the child away from their parents, because the parent is the first guardian there and is the first mentor. So if there is that big need for us to engage the parent, we have to show the teenager as to why we need to bring the parent on board.
And of course, now speaking about that, how do how do cultural and societal factors influence the challenges that teenagers face today? There are specific are there specific issues or factors that you've met that are prevalent in a certain community?
Yes, I have walked to the Maasais, and I've seen, there was a place I will not mention. We saw the issues of FGM somewhere. There are issues of culture. And one of the things I saw during the Gen Z revolution, that was last year, they were saying we are tribeless. We are faceless and everything. And one of the things that sometimes we cannot get away from is our culture. We cannot get away from culture. You found it there. And your parents are still insisting that you have to follow this. But There are things we can embrace in culture, and there are things that we have to come back to the table of negotiation and ask ourselves, why do we do this? Is there a need to change? What are there positive gains with this kind of behavior in the society? Or let's say that issues like FGM, because those are issues we have to address and say, no, this one's no. Early marriages, we have to address and say no. But there are issues that are there in the culture that we can embrace and say, oh, this one we can engage it more, or we can take it a notch higher, and we can improve it in a certain way to make it, to improve the lives of the teenagers. Yes.
All right. And, you know, you said you started an organization that is the Street Global Networks. That is an NGO. What are some of the biggest challenges that you and the organizations have come across, and how have you overcome them?
One of the biggest challenges, I will say, is, you know, sometimes people don't know you. Let's say a school. They don't know you, they have never seen you, they have never heard of you. And you have this great program you want to introduce in a school or in a town or somewhere, and you don't have people to endorse you in those places. But I can say that, you know, if today one door closes, you can go and get another door is still waiting for you somewhere, and it is still open. One day, one time, that door that was shut will one day come and it will open up. So one of the things that as an organization we have to keep on is to keep the faith. Like Paul says, we have to keep that faith that one day, one time, that door will open. It is only today that this door is closed and shut, but one day, one time, it will open up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And of course, are there, you know, any success stories where a scenario where a teenager, you know, has been under your guidance? Of course, you know, life imeenda, and then, you know, the person comes and say, you know, thank you, helped me.
Yeah. There are many success stories that we have found in our organization. And the recent one was one of a certain teenager who called and was facing the issues of anxiety. The issues of she's fearing when she stands before people, what will people say? How do I look? Is my nose big? Are my eyelashes okay? Is my hairstyle okay? And we had to give affirmation to this child and to tell this teenager that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And this is one thing that we always remind them, because we have a Christian culture in our organization. You know, when God created, when God was doing everything in Genesis chapter 1, during the creation story, everything, the Bible says that after creating, God said that, and God saw that it was good. There is that statement that says, and God saw that it was good. So when God created man, he saw that it is good to have man to till this land. So whenever we affirm them, we also remind them about their maker. That when God brought you to this earth, he saw that it is good for you to be here. Yes.
All right, now, how does the future look like for Street Global Network?
Wow, the future for Streetways Global Network. We have 5 objectives in our organization. One is the issue on proper education, where we do a lot of teenage mentorship. We have environmental conservation, which is our next agenda, which we are looking forward to enhance in our organization in 2026. We have other issues other objectives that we want to engage in the future. That is enhancing proper health to the teenagers. We have the issues of water and sanitation and poverty alleviation to these teenagers. So our future, we have 5 objectives. We are in our first objective. Now we are in 2026. We'll be starting off in our second objective. So we still have 3 more.
All right, amazing.
Yes.
Now, even as we wind up, I want you to to speak to that teen, male and or rather lady, who's struggling with something. Of course, can't open up to anyone. Of course, the male, male don't like talking about their issues.
Yes.
What of advice that you will give this person?
So this is the camera to use, right?
Yeah.
Kwa macho. So today, as a teenager, you watching us today, there are many kinds of let's say, addictions that young people are facing. Some of you are facing social media addictions. Some of you are in drugs. Some of you are in masturbation. Or some of you are just watching me and you are in trauma. Or there are issues in your family. Or there are issues you have ever done and you have never disclosed to anyone. I'm here to encourage you that, number one, first of all, through the word of God, that God knows you and knows you by name. He's there for you. And the Bible says in Philippians chapter 4, from verses 6 to 8. And I love the way the Message version of that scripture says that do not fret or worry about anything, but in prayer and supplication, let your request be known unto God. Verse 7 says that you will see how God turns your worry. How good and pleasing is it when God displaces your worry. And I am praying for you that today that God will displace that worry. And if it is too heavy, if the burden is too heavy, you can go search for someone you can trust and open up. There is this wise saying that says, once a problem is spoken out, it is half solved. Search for someone you can trust and share it out to them. And sometimes also, I have ever seen someone who wrote out all the problems they were facing, and they wrote it down on a book, and they wrote down all their pains and their frustrations, and they burnt, and they just told it is gone and it is gone. There is a place for healing for you, and I'm praying for you that the Lord, who knows your problems, who knows you, and who says that He created you in His own image, that He will stretch His hand, and you will find a place of healing. Thank you so much.
All right, quite enlightening.
Yes.
All right, now, for someone who was video for the very first time, maybe a school,
yes.
A parent who would like you to, to have a conversation with,
yes.
Their kids. Mm-hmm. I want you to share maybe your contacts where people can actually find you.
Yeah. So you can find me on all my social media handles. That is Felix Mungai Jenga on Facebook, Felix Mungai Jenga on Instagram. You can find me also through my LinkedIn profile, Felix Mungai Jenga. And also, for those who want to share, or through my email, mungaifelix19@gmail.com. And if you want to reach us through to our organization, we are Streetways Global Network on all our social media handles. That is YouTube, TikTok, and all our Facebook and Instagram. Streetways Global Network.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Felix Mungai.
Asante sana.
All right, many thanks. Of course, that was an enlightening conversation right there. We are diving deep into the pressing issues that that are facing our teenagers today. In a world where the youth are bombarded with relentless social media pressure, academic expectations, and of course, the quest for identity. The need for mentors is actually crucial. Of course, you can actually speak to someone. Don't die with your issues. All right, thank you so much for making time, rather being with us here on the program until this particular minute. You've been watching Morning Live. My name is Martin Mashara. We've been having a conversation to do with matters teenage mentors, mentorship, and of course challenges they are facing in this particular time. All right, if just in case you missed out on that particular conversation, you can actually get that. We were live on Facebook and as well as on YouTube as EBN TV. All right, it is exactly 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Many thanks for being part of this program. Your Faith Today is actually coming up next in the top of the hour at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss that particular show. All right. Do have yourself a good morning. Of course, let's meet again later on in the day as we continue keeping you up to speed, those making headlines from across our 47 counties and of course across our borders as far as news is concerned. But until then, let's do this again when God says we do.